If your goal in life is just to be happy, congratulations, you've already settled for mediocrity. The world has sold you a lie that happiness is the highest aim. It's not. Purpose is. Happiness is an emotion, fleeting and fragile, but purpose is the fire that burns through excuses and builds empires. In this video, I'm going to rip the lid off comfort and show you why chasing happiness is costing you everything that matters. Happiness is a byproduct, not a destination. And the sooner you understand that, the faster you'll stop wasting your life chasing cheap dopamine hits that leave you empty. You don't get happy by chasing happiness. You get happy by chasing purpose and stacking results. You feel alive when you're building something bigger than yourself. You feel fulfilled when you've earned what you have. That's the truth no one wants to say because it's not easy. It's not sexy, but it's real. The gym doesn't feel good when you're dragging yourself there in the cold at 5 a.m., muscles sore, no one cheering you on. Waking up at 4 a.m. doesn't feel good when your body's screaming for sleep and you know you've got 12 hours of grind ahead of you. Sacrifice doesn't feel good when you're saying no to parties, no to distractions, no to everything that pulls you away from the goal. But you know what does feel good? Being in control of your life. Looking in the mirror and knowing you didn't quit. Seeing your discipline pay off. Watching your mission take form and your identity become solid. That's real happiness, the kind that sticks around. The kind that doesn't vanish because someone didn't like your post or you had a bad day. You're out here chasing smiles, likes, fleeting moments of pleasure. You're not living, you're running. Running from discomfort, running from responsibility, running from the pressure that forges greatness. But purpose flips that on its head. It says, bring it on. Purpose invites the pressure because pressure creates diamonds. If your standard is just, I want to be happy, you'll crumble the moment life pushes back. But when your standard is, I have a mission, you stop needing to feel good and start demanding that you be good. You rise, you execute, you get results, you win. That's why people stuck in the happiness trap are often miserable, because deep down, they know they're not doing what they were built for. They're settling, they're playing small, they're letting temporary comfort rob them of permanent greatness. You want real happiness? Get obsessed with your calling. Get focused on the grind that brings results. Let your purpose drive every decision, every action, every sacrifice. And stop measuring your life by how many laughs you had this week. Start measuring it by how many steps closer you got to your vision. That's where fulfillment lives. That's where your identity is formed. In the fire, in the work, in the commitment to purpose over pleasure, mission over mood. Happiness is a side effect of living with purpose. Chase purpose relentlessly, and happiness will find you in the quiet moments, the ones filled with pride, with peace, with the deep knowing that you're building something that matters. But chase happiness directly, and you'll be lost forever in the cycle of highs and lows, never stepping into the life you were born to lead. So stop chasing the feeling. Start chasing the mission. Growth is painful. That's why most people avoid it like the plague. They'd rather stay where it's comfortable, predictable, and safe. But purpose doesn't give a damn about your comfort zone. Purpose is not your cheerleader, it's your drill sergeant. It will push you, stretch you, and break you if necessary, because purpose demands more from you than you ever thought you had. It exposes the laziness you've disguised as self-care. It shines a light on the excuses you've been feeding yourself for years, and guess what? It doesn't let you stay small. It won't tolerate mediocrity. Purpose is ruthless when it comes to your potential. You either grow or you get crushed by the weight of what you were meant to become. There is no neutral zone. There is no just getting by when you're on a mission. You're either leveling up or you're falling behind. That's the brutal truth no one wants to admit. Most people spend their lives running from growth because it's uncomfortable, but that same discomfort is the training ground of the greats. It's where the leaders are forged. It's where the next level is born. Every time you face resistance, every time life punches you in the mouth, you've got a choice: break down or break through. But If you've got purpose, quitting's not an option. You'll crawl through hell before you back down. Because you're not just living for the moment, you're building something eternal. People who live with purpose are not soft. They're battle-tested. They're the ones who didn't flinch when life hit back. They took the pain and used it as fuel. They stared down the impossible and dared to believe it could be done. And it's not because they were fearless, it's because their purpose was bigger than their fear. When you're driven by something deeper than your own comfort, you become dangerous. You become focused. And focus destroys distractions. Purpose puts blinders on your mind and locks your eyes on the goal. While the world is chasing trends, you're building discipline. While they're chasing fun, you're chasing fire. So what separates the elite from the average? So yeah, growth hurts. It costs. It strips away your old self and forces you to confront who you really are. But if you've got purpose, you won't just endure it, you'll embrace it, because you know that every ounce of pain is refining you, preparing you, positioning you. Most people avoid the fire, but those who live with purpose, they run into it, because they know that fire doesn't destroy the right person, it forges them. And if that's too much for you, if the idea of sacrifice and challenge makes you hesitate, then stay where it's safe. Stay average, stay soft. But don't you dare expect the rewards that only the relentless earn. Because purpose doesn't reward talkers. It rewards the doers, the fighters, the ones who grow no matter what it costs. You want to be comfortable? Get a pillow. You want to be powerful? Get a purpose. The people who are making moves, building legacies, changing history, they're not waking up asking, am I happy today? They wake up asking, what needs to be done? Purpose doesn't care about your feelings, it cares about your mission. Happiness wants to sleep in. Purpose wants to get up and grind. Happiness wants the weekend, purpose wants the war. If you're still measuring your day by how good it feels, you've already lost the game. Because greatness isn't born in good feelings, it's born in sacrifice. Purpose demands challenge, because purpose is forged in adversity. It wants the hard days. It welcomes the pain. Why? Because pain creates pressure, and pressure creates diamonds. There's no legacy written in the language of comfort. Nobody changed the world by taking the easy route. Every empire was built with bloody hands and sleepless nights. Every revolution was sparked by discomfort, by someone saying, this isn't enough. And yet most people today are out here looking for peace, looking for balance, looking for a life that doesn't demand too much. Let me tell you something. Nothing worth having comes from balance. It comes from obsession. Purpose doesn't want your convenience. It wants your commitment. It wants your focus, your fire, your willingness to bleed for something bigger than you. Comfort is a cage dressed up like a reward. It feels good in the moment, but it robs you of the man or woman you were born to become. You don't grow in easy, you grow in resistance, in stress, in sweat, in pressure. That's where the real version of you shows up. You think the lion cares about comfort when it's chasing its prey? No. It's locked in. It's not worried about how it feels. It's focused on the mission. Purpose sharpens you. It wakes you up when everyone else is sleeping. It pushes you when everyone else is quitting. And it won't let you settle. Happiness will tell you you've done enough. Purpose will scream, there's more in you. And you know what? It's right. There is more in you. More strength, more grit, more fire. But you'll never find it if you keep chasing what feels good. You'll only find it when you chase what matters. If you're not waking up with something that scares you a little and drives you a lot, you're not living with purpose. You're living with excuses. Stop worshiping happiness. Start honoring responsibility. Happiness fades, purpose doesn't. One is a feeling, the other is a foundation. And the sooner you decide which one you'll build your life on, the sooner you'll stop wandering. Feelings fade, emotions change. You can be on top of the world in the morning and feel crushed by nightfall. That's how fragile emotions are. That's how inconsistent happiness is. And yet people build their lives around that volatility, around chasing the next emotional high like junkies. They spend years trying to feel good instead of becoming someone great. That's a losing game. You can't trust feelings. You can't build your future on mood swings. But purpose is different. Purpose is the anchor that doesn't move, even when your world does. When everything collapses, when the deals fall through, when the relationship ends, when the money disappears, your feelings will betray you. They will tell you to quit. They will scream, "This isn't worth it." They will convince you that maybe it's better to go back, give up, stay small. But your purpose cuts through the noise. It reminds you why you started. It reminds you that pain is just part of the process, not a reason to stop. Purpose doesn't flinch when the pressure rises. It gets louder, it gets clearer. Most people don't fail because they don't have talent. They fail because they let a feeling dictate a decision. They walked away from their calling because they didn't feel like it one day. One bad moment became a permanent exit. That's the danger of living by emotion. That's why you need something deeper, something stronger, something immovable. That's why you need purpose, because when the pressure's on, purpose gives you posture. It keeps you standing when everything inside you says fall. It gives your struggle meaning. It tells you, this isn't punishment, this is preparation. Every champion you admire, every titan of industry, every leader who changed history, they didn't rise because they felt great every day. They rose because they had something so deep inside of them that even their worst days couldn't silence it. Their why was bigger than their emotions. They didn't need to feel inspired to take action. They just knew who they were and what they were called to do. And that was enough. Purpose doesn't need a pep talk. Purpose needs execution. It needs decisions, not dopamine. If you're building your life on the condition that you need to be happy every day to keep going, you're building a house on sand. The second the wind blows, it all collapses. But when you build on purpose, you can take the hit. You can weather the loss. You can endure the season because you're not doing it for the moment. You're doing it for the mission. That kind of power doesn't fade. It doesn't fold. It multiplies. So ask yourself, are you chasing feelings or following purpose? Because one will lie to you, the other will lead you. Only one gets you to the finish line. Let me be blunt. If you're living to please others, you're already on the wrong path. People pleasers are broke, they are soft, and most of all, they're forgotten. The world doesn't remember the man who spent his life seeking approval, bending over backward to make everyone happy. The world remembers the man who stood tall with his vision and said, "This is what I'm doing, and nothing is going to stop me." You've got to stop trying to impress people who don't matter. You're not here to win a popularity contest. You're not here to play nice and make everyone comfortable. You're here to execute. You're here to dominate. If you're still caught up in worrying about what people think, you're wasting your time. There are things to build, things to create, and a legacy to leave. And none of that happens if you're stuck in the trap of seeking validation. Happiness makes you look for approval. You want to know that others are satisfied with you, that you're meeting their expectations? But let me tell you something. The moment you live for the approval of others, you lose your power. You put your worth in their hands, and that's a dangerous game. People will always have opinions. They will always try to mold you into what they think you should be. The moment you chase their validation, you stop being you. You become a reflection of everyone else's needs, and guess what? You're not here to reflect others. You're here to be an original. Purpose, on the other hand, forces you to move with conviction. It doesn't care about what others think. It doesn't ask for permission. It makes you bold. It makes you uncompromising. When you are driven by purpose, you no longer seek approval. You command respect. You don't need validation from anyone because your actions speak louder than words. People might not understand your journey, but they can't deny your results. And that's where your power lies. Leaders don't waste time trying to make people comfortable. They move with certainty, with clarity, and with a singular focus on the mission at hand. They don't wait for applause. They don't need compliments to keep going. They're not dependent on what others say about them. The only thing they care about is impact. And when they make an impact, it's undeniable. The respect they command isn't given because they ask for it. It's earned through consistent action, through resilience, and through a willingness to push beyond the status quo. So ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want to feel good, or do you want to build something meaningful? If you're seeking approval, you're not going to make the tough decisions that push you forward. You'll bend when life gets hard, and you'll shrink back when the critics come. But if you're driven by purpose, you won't back down. You'll stand taller, stronger, and more relentless because you know you're doing something that matters. And the people who matter will respect you for it, whether they understand it right now or not. That respect, that's what lasts. In the end, happiness is a fleeting emotion, but respect is built on substance. And when you build on purpose, you're building something far greater than a smile. You're building a legacy. And that's the only thing worth chasing. So I'll say it again. If all you want is to be happy, good luck staying broke, forgotten, and stuck. But if you want power, if you want legacy, if you want to lead, choose purpose. Because happiness fades, but purpose wins every damn time.